Hey, Brandon here from Poindexter, and today I want to take a little time to demonstrate how to set up your project for a retail business that sells granite countertops and tiles. The key consideration here is how we think about customer acquisition and monetization, which, as we know, would be much different than it would be for an online-based business. This type of business often has a brick-and-mortar location, where customers can come in, view different samples, and work closely with the salesperson to define their needs, which makes this a more involved model than simply directing traffic to a website. Having a physical location also opens up the opportunity to acquire customers that walk in from foot traffic, which will be the first scenario we set up as part of our forecast. We'll begin by estimating the number of leads we expect from foot traffic each month. Then we can establish a conversion rate for the number of leads we actually expect to turn into real customers. Countertops and tile installations tend to be larger ticket items, so we'll also utilize the days to convert field to specify the average number of days it takes between generating the lead and closing the sale, and we'll set that to 7 days. Then we just click save, and we have our forecast for our customers from foot traffic ready to go. Another way to forecast new customers is by the number of phone call inquiries we receive each month. We can be as specific as we'd like here. For instance, if we're running a print ad campaign with our phone number on it, we could then name this phone calls from our summer print ad. But just to keep things simple, we'll call this phone call inquiries. This funnel may not be as straightforward as the walk-in example, since we still have to get the leads into the showroom to view the various samples and make a decision. So that would make this the first step in our funnel. Not everyone that calls in will end up making the trip, so we'll set the conversion rate here to 60%, and it's also likely they won't be able to visit the store the day that they call in, so we'll set the days to convert to 2 days here. From this point, our funnel should look similar to our walk-ins example as far as conversion rate and the number of days it takes to make a decision, because once they're in the store and they see the samples and go through the process of making the decision, it is very similar from there as it would be if they walked in the store in the first place. Now that we have our customers, we can move on to forecast our revenue. Since we sell granite countertops and tiles, each of our sales will likely be custom built to our customer specifications, so each one won't be exactly the same. One way we can start forecasting revenue is by breaking sales down into particular categories based on overall project size or material type or some other classifications that will help us box in the types of revenue streams that we would like to see on our income statement. And we could even combine categories to get a more specific forecast. We'll select the purchase model since each sale is a straightforward transaction for this business type. We'll then name the revenue stream according to how we'd like to categorize our sales, which for this example, we'll use our material type and project size to categorize each revenue stream. So we'll call this one Azul Platino Large Quantity to indicate that it's a larger project. From here, we can establish the average purchase price that a customer might pay for this particular material and project size, and any other parameters we'd like to set as well. We can also check the customer sources for this revenue stream and adjust them as needed. So if we only expect a certain number of customers to purchase this material at this quantity, we can then adjust those percentages here. As an alternative, when we're setting up our customer acquisition scenarios in the first part, we also have the option of forecasting customers based on what we expect them to purchase, and then naming those customer sources accordingly to make things a little bit more organized once we're associating those customer sources with revenue. But for now, we'll just click save, and our revenue will be calculated automatically for us. Since we've set up our revenue according to the material type and the project size, we can then go over to our cost page and insert a per transaction model and input the material costs for this particular revenue stream for each transaction. All we have to do is set the cost of the material, then indicate whether we expect to hold any inventory, and just click save. Now that we have our revenue and material cost forecasted, we can then move on to input any other products or costs that we'd like to include in our forecast. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this example for forecasting in Poindexter, and if you have any additional questions, please leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you with a response as quickly as we can. Thank you for watching, and good luck planning your business.